Imagine a Total War released even before Shogun 1, perhaps sometime in the mid-90s. It's an age of simpler graphics, simpler mechanics, and simpler tactics, but still one of sound gameplay. Perhaps more a proof of concept than anything else, but still one that proves that the devs know what they're doing and have a knack for these things. Well, that's kind of what we're getting in Roma Invicta, a new indie game from the one-man studio of Puntigames. Before that though, I just want to take a moment to talk about my channel. Reaching 10,000 subscribers is awesome, and I can't thank you guys enough. However, I've heard from some of you that my videos aren't being recommended to you as much as they used to, and so you've missed out on content you really wanted to see. I just want to spend a moment reminding you to click the bell button and enable notifications for new video uploads for me, hopefully meaning that you don't miss out on new content now. I rely on you guys more than you know, and if you enjoy what I do, it would mean a lot if you click that bell icon to make sure you always know what's going on. And if you really enjoy what I do, it would mean an extra lot if you'd consider joining the channel as a member, which would really help me out a lot in terms of getting new awesome content out there. And with that out of the way, here is Roma Invicta. Roma Invicta takes place in that legendary time period of Caesar's conquest of Gaul, the one where Rome finally charged into barbarian France and did some admittedly very bad stuff. But forget about the nasty parts. Roma Invicta, despite looking visually very simple, has that aura of charm around it. The first thing you'll see is the campaign map. It's not massive at all, but features a part of northern Italy and the entirety of Gaul. The map is partitioned into various sections, meaning that they're either controlled by the Gauls or by you. Each province contains a varying amount of farms on them, and this ties into the game's economy system. Now I say economy system, but don't let that scare you away. This is a very simple system. We begin with a certain amount of denarii located up in the right corner, and denarii lets you pay for new troops. You gain denarii per province controlled, meaning that the more provinces under your command, the bigger the influx of cash every turn. This is important, because your beginning army will definitely not be enough to conquer the entirety of Gaul by itself. The only way to recruit new units is from your base in Italy, and there are 4 different types of them to choose between. We have the Legionaries focusing on heavy armor and physical combat, the Velites who tosses spears from far away but are weak against enemy infantry, the cavalry that moves fast and are good at flanking or meeting other cavalry, and the Scorpions, essentially ballista-like weapons that can take down the enemy from afar, but which, if you're not careful, will also deal damage to your own soldiers. Armies do not only cost money to recruit though, that would be a bit too easy. Depending on the number of units in each army, you also have to provide enough food, lest they suffer attrition and wither away, and this can be acquired through 3 main ways. The first one is to import food from home, which can be done from coastlines. This costs money of course, but it's a nice and peaceful way to get some grub. The second way to get food is to buy it from the local population, which will also cost you some money. The third way is to embrace the good old Roman tradition of pillaging. This will not only provide you with much needed food, but also denarii which you can purchase even more troops with. These are in essence the essentials of the campaign mechanics, and as you can tell, it's all very straightforward. To keep things more interesting, Roma Invicta also offers real-time battles. This adds a very important aspect of the game, as this is where you get to deploy some tactics. If you've been playing other strategy games, you're likely to have some sort of idea on how to position your troops, but that doesn't actually necessarily mean that this will be easy. In fact, I actually had a really hard time with this in the beginning, but that's because I didn't pay attention to the tactical abilities of my units, and did not take advantage of the AI's help. You see, Legionaries actually have the ability to form testudos, which definitely slows them down, but allows us to actually survive and defend against incoming arrows, of which there are a lot. They also have the ability to toss pilas. But here's the caveat, they only toss within a certain range and right in front of them, not ever on an angle, so you really want to make sure the enemy is coming at you. What's more is that I actually learned to use my cavalry a lot better than I originally did. I put them on the flanks, making sure the enemy army was forced to focus on several units at once, and in doing so, breaking them up. Cavalry moves slightly faster than the normal units, but they also have a special ability, namely a charge ability. Legionaries have these too actually, and for both of these, it's extremely important to time them properly. Legionaries tend to charge head-on, giving them a boost to kills for the initial charge. A cavalry charge is extremely powerful though, especially from behind. A fail-proof tactic then is the good old hammer and anvil tactic. You essentially have the enemy occupied with legionaries before circling your horses around and have them crash into the enemy's backs. This is almost sure to roll up the enemy carpet and make them flee. There are two more things you should pay attention to here. Roma Invicta actually allows you to delegate certain units to the AI, and in my experience, it actually makes the battles more fun. I personally tend to delegate the Velites and Scorpions to the AI since I don't want to micromanage them while I maneuver my Legionaries and Cavalry. The AI is also really good at moving them around, and so you never feel like it's a bad decision at all. The second is to be aware of friendly fire, as both Pila volleys and Scorpio artillery will destroy your own units if you're not careful. As you probably noticed by now, Roma Invicta looks beautiful with its old school stylized visual style. The map looks charming on its own, but the battles is where the game really shines. I love the look of the arrows and javelins as they hit the ground or other soldiers. And even though it might look cute, it's actually a pretty bloody game. Everything from the trees to the soldiers appear nice and crisp, and even though the engine lags quite a lot when there are massive armies on the battlefield and all of these units move at once, the average battle performs really well and just looks and feels great. Roma Invicta is no massive game, but it's an addicting and fun little gem from a one-man development team. The campaign is simplistic and fun, offering an early, middle, and late campaign, meaning that Rome begins with a smaller or larger amount of territory, with varying difficulties associated with each. The battles are actually where the fun lies though, combining some charming visuals with a surprising amount of difficulty, depth, and tactics. I highly recommend checking out Roma Invicta if you're interested in a fun and charming little indie game, and in supporting the development of newer titles from this dev in the process. Thank you so much for watching. I'm always psyched for more Roman era titles, and found this to be oddly addicting and fun. Let me know if you're considering picking this up, and if you enjoyed the video, I really hope you leave a like, subscribe, and join the channel as a member. I'd really appreciate the support. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.